Right, good morning, guys. This is going to be the recap of the staff meeting. Unfortunately, we had some sound issues. Uh, it was always going to happen when we try and do something new. Um, Nevertheless, I'm happy to do it again so that everyone is able to um, be provided with the same information that we went through in the staff meeting. Special thanks to those who have tried to log on. My fault for not checking my phone. A lot of you alerted me that there was no sound coming through, but yet again, we will learn from this, and hopefully we will fine tune it in the future so that it becomes a much easier process. So without further ado, I'd just like to bring you to the main PowerPoint presentation that we went through. And here we go. So, just getting to our PowerPoint presentation. You should start to see my screen in a second. Okay, so we started by going through the survey results. This was our second employee survey. There was a few very interesting points that I wanted to bring up, some things that were worthwhile to share and have some insights from the people that attended. So just a couple of important points, or a few important points. We have a total of 27 staff across our two stores. We had a response rate of 12 or 44% in our second survey, which was down from 20 responses in 2014, which was our first survey. Obviously, therefore, we didn't have as many responses this time around. We talked about, I asked some of the staff that were present for their insights, whether it was too long, too boring, or any other feedback. Most of the staff that were there didn't really have any feedback. I think most of the people that attended did actually respond to the survey. But you know, I would love to hear your feedback, and if you have any information about how we can make the survey better so that we can increase our sample size, that would be great. So unfortunately for this second survey, we had a very, very small sample size of only 12. So the results might not really reflect across all of our employees. Nevertheless, we'll go through them. We roughly have an even mix of staff hours and length of employment. So basically, this means that we have very equal numbers of people doing part-time versus full-time, those doing less than 5 hours to those doing more than 30 hours. We have roughly a good mix of part-time and full-time staff, which is very, very important. This means that we are sharing the load, and that people are able to be able to contribute to the running of the business and the pharmacy. 81% of staff believe I explained the pharmacy business plans and goals moderately to extremely clearly. This was up from 56%. Again, we're dealing with a small sample size, and we're not really sure whether this 81% is really reflective of the complete of all our employees. But nevertheless, it was a good result to make sure that we're heading in the right direction. You might ask, what are our pharmacy's core business platforms and plans? And I think it's very important that we all are on the same page regarding this to make sure that we're all heading in the same direction. The number one goal, or the number one business platform for us, is basically being very patient, customer centric. I think the basics of any business, if you don't look after the customer, you won't have a business. So we need to become very patient centric. I'm doing a few a light customer service course at the moment, and I just wanted to share with you some of the quotes that I found very enlightening. A guy called Ivan Frangi, who's a very, very big leader in this field, and has many has his contribution to this field is phenomenal. I actually, recommend that you actually go on Google and Google him and find him a bit more. But his main mantra is, if you give customers an experience they can't get anywhere else, then they won't go anywhere else. And it's very, very important. Sometimes we give the customer the chance never to come back to us, which is very small, but, all these little scenarios where we could have dealt with the scenario better to allow our customers to feel that they did get an experience, they would never get this experience anywhere else, that would all add value to the business. The other important goal of the pharmacy is to become operationally efficient. This is extremely important because if we don't become operationally efficient, we won't free up our time to achieve being customer patient centric. There is no way we're going to be able to spend more time with the customer and therefore become more patient centric without being able to become operationally efficient. And we'll deal with this in a few more slides down the track. We need to improve our HR skills and training. So also to become patient-centric and be able to serve the patients and give them an experience they won't get anywhere else, we need to continue to develop our training and our HR skills and our skills. I can't always serve every single customer or all our senior staff. I can't have my senior staff or the best knowledgeable staff around 24 from 9 to 9 every day, 7 days a week. There is always going to be a scenario when someone comes in and you will need to be able to confidently recommend products, talk to the customer about products in a confident manner that shows that you are well informed and well trained. So another business basic, I'm only as good as the people I employ. So it comes without no surprise that we need to have every single person in the pharmacy well equipped with the knowledge and the training to be able to confidently recommend products and to be able to talk to customers about products. This is going to be a key focus for me over the next over this financial year, and hopefully we can put into place certain trainings or certain procedures that allow us to do this. On that point though, I can honestly say that I've owned a lot of pharmacies, I've worked in a lot of pharmacies, I've worked in a lot of environments, but by and large, the people that I have working with me at the moment are absolutely one of the best, great people I've ever worked with. So thank you, and I hope that you continue working with us and hopefully find that the workplace that you're involved in is as rewarding for you as it is for me. Like I said though, the challenge is to be able to evolve and harness our skills in the right way. The last thing is to become a One Health destination. So we need to become not just a transactional business where customers come purely to fill in a script and go home, but really become a place where people can address certain health issues or the wider or general health conditions, and to be able to use us and our expertise to a lot of different areas. I think if we do this very successfully, we will build a very, very unique point of difference to any other pharmacy in the area. And not only that, but our customers will get that experience they can't get anywhere else. Remember, we come back to that very fundamental point. If customers get an experience they can't get anywhere else, they won't go anywhere else. So we need to strive to become a One Health destination. Some of the things to allow us to become a One Health destination, some of the things that we've already achieved is compounding. This has been an integral process to becoming a One Health destination. It has grown significantly from strength to strength with Shireen's attention and help. So thank you very much, Shireen. It has become it will continue to become a main focus in 2015, 2016, and I think you can all agree that over this very short period of time of less than 1 year, we've been able to establish a very, very successful service in the pharmacy, and we're seeing the results of that. We're seeing more customers come through our doors that we haven't been able to capture before. We're able to offer solutions to people that have always had health problems that couldn't be solved, and to be able to do that is very, very rewarding, and it's again building that experience to the customer. Building on from that, I've taken the decision that we need to complement compounding and just the general pharmacy business strategy by employing a naturopath, a dedicated naturopath to both of our stores, who will basically drive the natural therapy range. So we will, excuse me for a second. Sorry about that. So the naturopath that we will employ will be totally dedicated to driving our vitamins range, looking at the range that we offer and whether there is better products out there, and obviously getting naturopath only products that can only be sold and also that can only be ranged and sold by a qualified naturopath. I think this will be a very, very big project, and hopefully a successful one that will allow us again to give customers an experience they can't get anywhere else, that people are able to come to the pharmacy, find out about what, get the script filled, but also then talk to a specialized person that can assist them with the natural side of complementary medications, whether it be herbals, whether it be vitamins, homeopathic formulations. But it's a service that I think many people are looking for, and I think with the right candidate, it should be a good success. So that will be something that we will be focusing on 2015-16, which is this financial year. Diabetic educators, myself, and hopefully a few other people, if they want to join me, can become a diabetic educator. This has been a special focus for me for a long, long time. I've always wanted to be a pharmacy that specializes in diabetes and its multifactorial disease, sub-diseases that happen from diabetes. Diabetes, just a general statistic, is one of the leading causes of death in Australia, and it's actually predicted to be the leading cause of death after cancer in 5 years. It's a disease that affects a number of our customers at the moment, and there's no shortage of diabetics. I forget the statistic exactly, but it's one of the most diagnosed disease states in the community at the moment. It's multifactorial. It presents real opportunity for us to specialize and provide a real specialty area. And from this, hopefully we can then specialize into wound care, weight loss, and diet, which all play a very important role in the treatment of diabetes. The last thing that we would like to achieve down the track, this is 2017-18, is to be able to install a robot in our dispensary and have full dispense automation. This will again allow us to free up our time significantly to be able to put a pharmacist or more girls on the floor to be able to serve the customer and provide that good experience. Following on, generally staff would like a greater level of interaction with me as their employer. I asked for some feedback regarding this. There was mentioned, a few of the staff that were present said that we should have a regular staff meeting of around 6 to 8 weeks. So I will hopefully, in conjunction with Meg and the other girls from the other store, Gemma and Kat will try and schedule a staff meeting every 8 weeks or so. Approximately 83% of staff find my expectation unrealistic. I found this very, I don't know if it's correct or not, but it was a surprise, a nice surprise. This was up from 44%. Again, we're dealing with a small sample size, so we don't know if that is the case across the board or not. I asked for some feedback, about why there has been an increase. Is it the better systems we have implemented? Is it the messages coming back to you through senior staff members, through Meg? But nonetheless, I think if we continue to have regular staff meetings, and this platform allows us to be able to deliver the message to every single person in the organization, so that no one misses out on the critical information to be able to move in the same direction, then I think we will all be better for it. I think from one of the things that you probably would know about me from having worked with me for now for a few years is that I'm never static. I never continue doing the thing I did, last year. I'm always changing, and I know that change is always difficult. Some staff definitely find change very difficult, and some find it more difficult than others. But I do sense that some staff almost give up before giving it a go. I would like to just draw on this point and say, look, in any business, there's always going to be change. And if there is no change, that business is dying, basically, because there is, our community is evolving, our customers are evolving, the way business is done is evolving. You need to change, and it's a critical point of a successful pharmacy. Albert, a few quotes that I find very, very enlightening at this point is, Albert Einstein said, doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results is basically the definition of insanity. Anthony Robbins, very famous quote, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. Interestingly, over 90% of staff, though, in the survey showed that they're willing to accept change. So hopefully, I know sometimes we do put a lot of change on the table all at once, which can be difficult. And the challenge for me will be to basically make sure that the change we implement is not too intense and too many things are happening at once that it just loses its intended outcome. Moving on, the fact is that pharmacy world itself is rapidly changing. Yeah, so there is no doubt that pharmacy, from when I started, even a couple of years ago, is not actually the same pharmacy world that we live in at the moment. There is always pressure on pharmacy, none more than currently. Pharmacy is a key player in the government's health budget forecasts. It is looking at pharmacy every single budget to see if they can make extra savings. In the last 5 years, so it's from 2010 to 2015, there has been a national average reduction of turnover by more than 16%. That is phenomenal. No other industry in the health industry has had this decrease, considering that we are becoming an aging population. The forecasts at the beginning of 2010 were to be able to keep pharmacy in line with our aging population, but they actually, the processes and the policies they put into place took a more dramatic effect. Some of the impacts, PBS price disclosures, for those that you don't know what it is, it's basically the value that the government pays for when we dispense PBS medications. This is basically on a cycle of reductions as when new generics come on board. So the price that the government pays us for particular molecules does reduce, is becoming less and less over time. You can agree with me, there's now proliferation of discounters everywhere. They do a lot of advertising, a lot of marketing. They're on TV, on radio, at the footy, and it's not just Chemist Warehouse. There's a lot of other, discounters that are in sort of half in, half out water discounting. Priceline do it, discount drugstores do it, even PharmaSave does it sometimes. So there's lots and lots of discounters. More and more people are doing their shopping online, interestingly. So again, it is giving a customer an experience they can't get anywhere else. If you give a customer an in-store experience that they can't get online, then the chances are they will still come to your store. And that's the challenge. There's obviously customer pessimism with, every time there's a bad news story that comes out where it's our budget, the Greek economy, the price of oil, the price of iron, the loss in the share market, that always creates anxiety for customers, and the flow-on effect can happen in business and in pharmacy. There's been a steady descheduling of pharmacy products to supermarkets and the like. So where we had exclusive rights to a particular range products, more and more now we are seeing those in supermarkets where anyone can access them from anywhere, anytime. And we all know how supermarkets are vigorous in their efforts to try and have more of the product share in their stores. All of the above really make it or they basically the end result or the byproduct of all the above basically is that we are asked to do more with less. So whilst our operational costs are increasing, our income is reducing, there needs to be somehow that we can offset that and become better at what we do. You know, right at the beginning I said that we need to spend time with more time with our customers, that our customers are the most important thing in this business, and that will only come by becoming operationally efficient, which means we basically examine everything we do in this pharmacy and make sure that we can do it better. We need to be better at staffing, at rostering our staff, so that we can get the most, the biggest bang for our buck, basically, which we'll explain a bit later. I asked the staff for any other ideas, but some of the things that they did mention I was going to talk about in some slides down the track. Just quickly again, 50% of staff would like more feedback regarding their work. Again, we've mentioned that we were going to implement some regular staff meetings, and hopefully this will allow for the feedback to continue. Again, you are more than happy for any sort of feedback. Sometimes it's a bit hard to give me the feedback at store while I'm serving. I can appreciate that, but if you wanted to pass on an important feedback before, after work, via email, via phone, any way that you'd like to, I'm more than happy to listen, and I do take everything that you do say to me on board. 33% of staff feel I don't listen to their opinions when taking decisions. That was down from 56, again a small sample size. So if this is one of you, you really need to make contact with me, like I said, and hopefully try and sort out any of the misconceptions or negative feedback that you might have. In general, people just want more feedback. Staff want more feedback, positive and negative, obviously. So we're going to have more staff meetings, which we can incorporate training knowledge, training and product knowledge on. We're going to do it around 8 weeks. I think that's a fair time frame to allow people to log in and be able to listen to these things. There was some comments that more staff, especially over lunch breaks. We will come to that and address that very particular point. Staff incentives. I'm very happy to employ this strategy. Actually, it's been something on my mind. We did get some ideas from the staff present, and I will talk about this in the future slides. Over 90% can see the need and are happy to adopt new IT platforms we have introduced, which is very, very promising, and it'll continue becoming the trend in the pharmacy. There's going to be new IT platforms that we will talk about here and in the future. Common frustration, lack of team meetings, we've already discussed that. Increased staffing. So since November 2014, we have I have put on, I've made some additions to our staff. For example, we have now a dedicated person once a week that completes all our Webster packing. We also have an extra hand on 1 day a week to be able to do some store maintenance, pricing, price changes, labels moves around. We also have one person every fortnight by the name of Georgia who comes in and merchandises our complete gift range, talks to suppliers, coordinates with Megan certain displays, etc. And that has been all very, very successful. But we are obviously working within a budget. We can't just continue putting people on. We need to become better at what we do and also look at how we can roster our staff in an effective way. Store cleanliness and maintenance was a very big point that came on both surveys. There was a feedback that on nights and weekends the staff don't maintain the front area, the dispensary, the benches, making sure the floor is clean. You know, some nights are better than others, and we all need to be on the same page with this. We all need to make sure that we leave the store in a reasonable way, so that when we come back the next day, we're ready to go. Video surveillance was one of the feedbacks also on the cards, but unfortunately still a while away. Just wanted to share a very interesting video that I was presented to when I came across or doing customer service, and I think it would be great if you can all listen to it. Not sure if the sound will come through, but if it doesn't, I really would like you. If it doesn't, I really want you to go and spend 3 minutes watching this video.
There are management consultants, there are motivational coaches, there are get up and go gurus everywhere, but there's only one Tom O'Toole. He's all about good customer service. He's all about positive motivation, and he has the technique to show how it can be done.
What about me? I think I'm next. Oh, excuse me.
Complaining bloody customers, they're standing there for 3 minutes and they reckon they've been there for 15 minutes.
I think
the buggers should be grateful on bloody hearing this is at all, bloody hell. Yeah.
What?
Bloody, piss off to McDonald's, you buggers. Bloody hell. Bloody blaming cheese. Sometimes I'd like to kill the buggers, but I tell you what, every complaint is a gift.
In 1984, Tom O'Toole took over a struggling bakery in Beechworth, a town of 3,500 people in Victoria's northeast. It was the kind of business you'd expect in a quiet country town. 2 part-time workers and takings of around $100,000 a year. But by 2002, the same bakery had an annual turnover of $3 million, all cash over the counter, and was employing 65 people. In 2001, the operation set up another bakery in the tourist centre of Echuca, once again turning around a marginal business. Another success story for Tom O'Toole. By 2003, the combined income of the 2 bakeries was $5 million. Top takings over the counter at Beechworth were $33,000 in one day, and together the bakeries employ 120 people, full and part-time. How does he do it? Well, Tom has a passion for business, and he also has a passion for great customer service, even though this can sometimes be quite a challenge for his staff when the customers flock in droves. But by striving to provide legendary service, these bakeries keep bringing customers back time and time again. And they attract many new customers because of the powerful word-of-mouth promotion that follows from this. In this program, we're going to look at the detail of what customer service means at the Beechworth Bakery, the systems that keep the high level of service in place, and finally the big picture, how the Beechworth Bakery has established a culture of service to customers that underlies the success of the whole operation. All of these are concepts and ideas that you can put into place in your own business, no matter what kind of operation you're involved in.
Okay, we have 3 rules in our bakery. Rule 1, take care of the customer. Rule 2, take care of the customer. Rule 3, take care of the customer. Real rocket science, isn't it?
Okay, hopefully that came through okay. If it didn't, really recommend that you go and listen to that video. I can really emphasize that by this flowchart on the right hand side. Again, guys, we need to drop everything when the customer comes in. The customer is the most important part in the business. So we have us at the top, which are staff. We serve our customers, and then our customers provide feedback to their customers, their friends, their relatives. If we have positive feedback, guess what happens? We have more customers coming. They do the same. We have increased customers coming. We're becoming very, very customer focused. It's all about the customer. Right at the bottom, there's a customer centricity. When the customer comes out, you've got to remember they've got to walk out thinking, I have an experience, I've received an experience here, I don't get anywhere else, I need to tell someone about this. Conversely is very true. When you do give the customer an opportunity to have an experience they'd rather forget, guess what? They're going to tell their customers well, and that's going to have a negative flow-on effect. So we need to be very careful, and like that gentleman Tim O'Toole said, every customer complaint is an opportunity. Every time a customer comes in complaining about something, that is an opportunity to have that customer forever. It is the way that you deal with it that will eventually lead to a positive outcome, or conversely a negative outcome. A couple of other important things. We are going to be doing some anemia screening. This is a new service that we will employ in our pharmacy. This is a paid service. It's not free like diabetes or blood pressure, but only because it is something that we just want to differentiate from the long-term standing services that we've had with diabetes and sugar test, with diabetes and blood pressure testing. It's going to be a change in the paradigm of thinking. A lot of you might think, no one's going to pay for it when they can just go to the doctors and get the same sort of test. But I think the healthcare world is changing. I think these days you'll be very lucky to actually ring up a doctor now and get a script to be written out for you for the same medication that you've always been taking, something even that the doctor might have forgotten to give you on the last time you visited, and not charge you. Most doctors either charge a $5 or $8 fee to pick up a script that they've written. There's most doctors, if you're not a concessional card holder, there is a gap fee of approximately $20 when you see a doctor, and often you've got to wait a long time to do a simple test. So it'll be interesting to see how we go. We're being supported by our generic company Aspen. So thank you to Aspen for helping us to become a pilot store to do this anemia screening. So a little bit about it. It's going to be launched on Tuesday the 18th of August between 10 and 4. Customers will need to make an appointment. The appointment can either be done by ringing the store or online via a website, and I'll explain that a bit later. The event will be advertised in-store and local paper. It'll be run predominantly by myself, Megan, and the naturopath, who are all being trained in it. You will not be able to do it until you have the right product training with it. It's not very straightforward like a sugar testing, but it's not also rocket science, so it's not extremely hard that you can't do. Customers, like I mentioned, need to have a specific appointment only for the launch day. Then we'll be able to take walk-ins during the day. But again, there might be a 10-minute wait before we set everything up and be able to talk to them one-on-one. The launch day, the tests will be free. Following that, the test will be $10 each. Again, we will try and have a hotkey at the front to be able to make this easy for you to charge. So the hotkey will just say basically anemia screening, and it'll come up with $10. The reason we are trying to include extra services in our pharmacy is because we want pharmacies, and particularly our pharmacy, to become a one health, one destination for health, a one-shop health destination basically. And if we don't continue to evolve and have these services part of our pharmacies, guess what? There'll be a big argument from the supermarket saying, you know what, these pharmacies, all they do, the customer comes in, they give them a script, they walk home. There's nothing else besides the transaction. Why can't we have the same sort of setup in the supermarket? Okay. But if we continue to evolve and have these health services that provide a positive outcome, relieve pressure from the budget and the medical fraternity, then we are contributing in a positive direction, and there will be the government will be very strong in maintaining pharmacy model the way it is at the moment. So this is important. Some of the things, one of the other things that we might do in the future is weight loss, but we need to really try and continue making each service that we do in the pharmacy a success before trying to employ another service. Loyalty Club is a very big focus, guys. It's not very well done at the moment. We need to become better at it. This was a very big topic of discussion. It's an important CRM tool. It is very, very important that we are all on the same page as this. CRM basically stands for Customer Relation Management Tool. It is basically a tool that lets us find out more about our customers. If you talk to any of the big retailers, they would tell you that their loyalty or rewards membership base is one of the most valuable parts of their business. In fact, Coles did a evaluation of their Flybuys database, and they actually came up, they found, interestingly, that it was the most valuable asset to Coles. So if you think about that and realize the power in these tools, we all need to take advantage of it at the moment. We all need to take advantage of it. So, like I mentioned, it's very important to our business. It will increase our customer engagement. It reduces customer defections to our competitors. It increases customer spending on higher margin products. And in general, the very most important thing, it actually increases the customer numbers. It gives customers an experience they can't get anywhere else. In turn, they tell someone else to come in and experience that the same thing. So we need all staff, not just a couple during, not just one or two, to make this a focus. We have 27 staff. We all need the 27. We need all 27 staff to be thinking the right way about this particular project. Right from me, the pharmacist, senior staff, all the way to someone that does one shift every fortnight. Everyone needs to be basically in the right frame of mind about this. We need all staff to feel comfortable and willing to ask customers to join our Loyalty Club program. How? We don't feel like you're pushing or conning a customer into something. This is something that's rewarding them. It is something that's giving them more and above incentives to come and continue shopping with us. You really need to know the benefits of joining. So the benefits of joining will be basically the ability to redeem dollars for spending. So every $100 they spend, they will get the equivalent of $5 points that they can redeem on anything in the store. Okay. Eventually, we'll be able to tailor this loyalty program so that they are able to access more offers than if they're not members. So, for example, we might have 20% off all vitamins on Tuesdays. It'll only be available to members. We might have 20% off all gifts for a week, only available to members. If you're a member, you get these benefits. And Jen, the most important thing about this is we actually need to make it easy for us to join the customer, okay? So there was a lot of discussion about this, how sometimes it's very difficult to be able to join a customer because you need time to explain these things while having maybe 3 or 4 people also waiting up to be served. We need time. You need time to be able to fill in the paper, to be able to give them the card. You need to be able to do it in an effective way so that you're not just basically getting them to give you the details and then we're saying see you later. But it's very easy to join. We are still in the search for a particular staff member who will take this on board and make it their project every week to make sure that there is enough forms there, enough cards. We never run out. The systems will be checked by me, and I'll make sure that the 2 platforms that we need to have for Loyalty Club are available for us via all computers because it's a web browsed program, so you can do it from any computer basically. At the moment, Varun has put his hand up to take care of this area, so thank you, Varun. We might actually get also someone else to help Varun make sure that we have all the necessary things at the front or wherever we do it to be able to effectively join the customer. One of the points that I thought about on the day was to be able to also join customers at the point of where they drop off a script. So this involves the person taking the script, whether it's a pharmacist or a dispensary technician or just a shop assistant, to be able to, once they drop off the script, have you joined our Loyalty Club program? Would you like to join while we are processing your script? And then they don't feel that they then have to wait an extra 5 minutes before they can grab their items and go. We can employ both strategies. to achieve our targets. Like I mentioned, limitations to joining members is time. We know that the majority of customers often spend in excess of 5 minutes at our store already. If we're asking customers to spend an extra 5 minutes before they, leave the store, it might be a bit of an ask. It's obviously sometimes a big ask when we're trying to join a customer and there's a few people waiting to be joined. But we all need to have the same mind frame in order to be able to get customers to join the Loyalty Club program. I've talked about the process and IT platforms. We will continue to evolve those. We need to get rid of any bad or negative perception issues. It's a program basically rewarding our customers. Yes, we do get a lot of details about how they shop and where they shop and their contact details, so that we can drive, our sales more and more. But by and large, it is basically something that we are rewarding our customers for joining, for shopping at our store or doing business with us. I've talked to Meg as well about trying to put in some targets and incentives for employees who reach certain levels, and we will talk about this in a separate slide. I will put the webinar of how to use the Loyalty Club program on the website again, and I'll explain to you how to be able to access that website with all the training material. We need it to be a part of our daily activities, guys. I'm not asking for a lot of members per day. 3 to 5 new members per day is all we're asking for, and I think that's very, very achievable. If we all are doing our bit, if it's just left for a couple of our staff, we will not get there. Okay, so we need to make this a priority. Just another slide about McDonald's and the benefits of a Loyalty Club program, but I think you can read that at your own time. Naturopath, I've touched on it already. We are going to have a herbal dispensary in the pharmacy. It's a new area of specialization. It's going to be basically run by a naturopath that we will have. Her name is Rebecca Dinan. She comes from a very big, she has a large experience in naturopathy, both in retail and in her own clinic. She has experience with a huge amount of products and ranges, very well versed, very charismatic. She will also be, a member of our staff, so she will no doubt provide a lot of positive input into how we do business. So like I mentioned, her role was to drive and promote and educate also staff on the Vitamin Natural range. And I think that will be a very big positive for us. If we can get more and more staff educated and knowledgeable about vitamins, they're going to be able to sell that in an effective way. So she'll be in store 2.5 days per week. She'll be at our store for 1 day, at Plaza for half a day, and she will also be doing consulting for another day. So the consulting will be only by appointment. It'll take between 45 and an hour per patient, and that will be done at a time that she chooses. But the 1 day that she does in store, that's non-consulting, she will basically be an extra staff member on the floor, but really focused on the vitamins area. To do this, we will be implementing a new store layout. So we're going to have a mini makeover. I'll come to that in a bit in another slide. But the goals, again, are very simple, guys. They're to increase our customers walking through the doors, hopefully give them the experience they can't get anywhere else, and therefore become a loyal customer to us. It will improve our range and offering. And also another step to becoming a One Health destination. It'll complement mainstream and compounded therapies. And people these days really want to be able to have the option to talk to someone and be able to choose a product that's going to give them what they need in terms of their health management. Okay, next slide is going to deal with a very important project that we're undertaking in the month of August. It's called Easy Employer. It's a new IT platform that automates rosters, timesheets, and payroll. We are moving from the archaic process of recording by hand, by email, spreadsheet, all these things that we do at the moment that actually take an immense amount of time from us. Both Meg and I would spend in excess of about 20 hours a month, collectively managing this. And I think it's just time that is better spent on the floor, in our stores, talking to our customers, merchandising. Very, very important that we actually get this right, because I think it'll be a benefit to every single person. So what is it? It's a staff management tool. It provides communication to every staff member. So basically the way it works is that each of our staff will have their own profile that is password encrypted, obviously. They will be able to view their rosters, their shifts, check if they can have a leave, be able to fill a shift that they want to have off, whether they're annual leave or sick or whatever, all automated, all via this IT tool, and all automated. So you will never have to, there'll be very, very small reason for you to ring up or talk to Meg or message me or email me about filling a particular shift. It's all it's empowering you to take responsibility of your shifts and to be able to drive the change that you need through this IT platform. We don't have a very effective communication tool. We haven't had an effective communication tool for as long as I've known and as long as I've worked in pharmacies. Notes and paper trail just do not work. There is room for error. They go missing. There is no way of telling someone that you've actually left a note. You're relying on them to actually see the note, which is very, very difficult in this time and age when we've got papers everywhere, and we're dealing with a customer on the phone. So it's definitely an archaic process. If you are leaving notes on a bench, it is useless, because I can tell you right now, there's 50% chance that those notes don't get read, don't get actioned, and the customer is then getting an experience they'd rather not get. Okay, we need to employ a better communication tool. Okay, this will give us the opportunity to do this. Okay, because each person will have a profile. We can message each person if we need to. We can do a general broadcast. So basically, when you come to your shift, you'll be able to clock on and clock off. When you do clock on, a message board will come up and it'll say, for example, Megan, please see this staff member about, so please order this particular product for this particular customer. Maybe we should think about stocking this product because we have been getting a lot of requests for it at night. Simple. She will get that. She will be able to action it. She'll be able to leave you a message back. Thanks, so-and-so, Himani. Thanks, Himani, for letting me know. We are looking into this. Order has been placed. Very, very effective, quick and easy. It doesn't get lost. Okay? Customers get a better experience. It'll allow us to automate our rosters. So it'll be based on individual qualification and availability. Every staff member will have a profile. On that profile, I will basically delegate a particular role, whether they're a pharmacist, whether they're a shop assistant, whether they can do dispensing. It'll also allow you to put in your availability, so we don't have to continue to find out, guess who can do the shift, or wait for you to let us know. If your availability is up to date, you will be getting the shift. Okay, so please make sure it's up to date. If your availability changes, make sure you change your profile. Okay. It allows us to auto-fill shifts based on these. Okay, it'll alert you via email and SMS whether we're requesting you to fill in a shift. Okay, it gives us an ability to better staff our staff during customer peak periods in association with Kepler Analytics, which I'll talk about later. It gives me the ability to wage forecast per day, per hour. In an ideal scenario, we would like to have the same wage percentage across all our hours, which is extremely ideal, and sometimes very, very, it's impossible to get, because it would mean that we would have a couple of staff members coming in, for example, from 10 to 11, going home, coming back from 1 to 2, and they're working 1 to 2 and then maybe 3 to 5. It's not going to happen. We need to get as close as possible, but at the moment it's just done reactively. So at the end of a pay period, we'll look at our sales, we'll look at our wages, and we'll think, okay, at this particular, over this particular 2 weeks, our wage percentage was this. But we don't know where, you know, we could have a look at this and say, okay, these particular hours in the day, we have very, very low wage percentage. It means that we have very, very few staff members here, and we might have a lot of sales going through the till. We obviously might have a lot of customers coming through the doors. We don't have enough staff. These particular hours, you know, we might have too high a wage percentage, meaning that we just have too many staff on floor and not enough sales or customers coming through. This will allow us to better roster our staff. Okay, again, timesheets will be automated. No more writing in timesheets when this system is up and running. It'll be a system clocking on, clocking off system, and once you do that, it'll automatically record your start of your shift, your breaks, and your home time. Okay. Again, why we're doing this, to free up time for all of the staff, for Meg and myself. We need more people on the floor to be able to serve the customers in a better way and to give them that good experience. It'll allow you to take ownership of your own shifts from now on. You will very, very rarely be needing to come to us. Everything is done via email or SMS. So it is a much more efficient way of doing things. Kepler Analytics, it's a very, very good tool that we've just employed in our stores. For a very long time, we were never able to measure how many customers, A, walk past our store, 2, come in our store but never buy something and just walk out, how long they stay in our store, where do they go in our store, which, you know, the basket size that they get, a lot of different things. What I'm going to do now is I am going to show you this on the web. So this is available for any staff member that wants to have a look at it, by all means. But I just want to make sure that you can see this. Hopefully you can see this. If you can't see this, I apologize. Okay, so this is our store at Northcote. And I'll just log in. Okay, so we have a dashboard. The dashboard basically gives us a week's snapshot, okay, and tells us, you know, when most of our customers are coming in. You can see here, this is the 30th of July, this is the 6th of August, so again, there's 1 week here. But the general trend is we open at 9, we close at 9, we see the majority of customers in between 1 o'clock or 1:30 to 4 o'clock. Hence the reason why we've changed the roster to have someone start around this time, okay? It's better to have a staff member from 3:30 to 7 than to have them from 5 to 8. 3:30 to 7 will allow you to see more customers and serve more customers. We need people on the floor. This is very, very important. If I go to hourly traffic, it really explains this a bit further. The darker the blue, the more the customers. The red are very, very high customer flow areas, inflow areas. So just by looking at this, we know that we see lots of customers again between 12 and 4 p.m. Lots of customers in that time frame. We need to have staff on the floor serving, not marking off an order. If they're on lunch, yes, go on lunch, but we don't need anyone else besides the people that are going on lunch to be doing any other things than to actually just serve our customers. Doing the other stuff can be done late at night or early in the morning. So next thing, we have okay, this is a very good way of explaining it. On average, we have around 40,000 customers that go past our store. Okay, so this is a week. Okay, 40,000 customers walk past our store, a heck of a lot of people, okay? Out of those 40,000 people, 3,000, just shy of 3,000, walk into our store. Not a lot. You might think that's very, very small, 7.4%. National average is about 5%. So the national average, including the big retailers, Harvey Norman, Coles, Safeway, any of those, the number of people walking into the store is about 5%. Okay? Out of those 5%, out of those 2929, we have around 2,500, so a very high proportion of them considering to buy. Okay? The way they work this out is if a customer is spending more than 5 minutes in the store, they are more likely to make a purchase. And this amount of customers, 2,579, out of this 2,929 are customers that actually spend more than 5 minutes and are considering to buy. Now, this is a very, very important number. So we have 40,000 people that walk past our store. We have 3,000 people that walk into our store, yet we only make 1,800 sales, a sale percentage of 64.3. So that is on the low side, guys. People that the national average is around 75%, and it can really explain to you how that makes a difference. Okay? I'll explain to you. The basket size of the people walking in is roughly $30. So roughly every person that comes in, based on our sales, walks out with around $30 worth of products. Okay. Now, if we're to increase this from 64% to 75%, that is basically an increase of 10%. Okay, 10% of the number walking in is about 300 customers a week. Okay. If we take 300 customers a week and times it by $30, this is just for 1 week, we make an extra $9,000 worth of sales. If we make that an annual, so if we times that by 52, we're making $500,000 worth of, to be more accurate, $470,000 worth more sales per year. Phenomenal. Why? We need to be done. Before this, we didn't know how many people are coming into our store. We always knew how many customers we served to the till. That was always available, but we never knew how many customers were coming to our store. So what this shows us is there's a real opportunity to improve, whether it's our merchandising, whether it's the general appeal of the store, whether it's our prices, whether it's the customer service that they get. If we get all these things right, we will no doubt be able to capitalize on this in the future. Again, all this data is actually shown by a graphical representation. So again, we see around 8,000 customers a day that come past, and all these basically will give us an indication of how to roster. When I looked at this hourly traffic for the very first time, I realized, my God, the orders come in around this time. And so we have one person marking off orders. Usually, sometimes we actually have 2 people marking off an order, whether it's Sigma and CHS. And then we also have someone on lunch. So we are 3 down, or sometimes 2 down. And yet it's just basically 2 pharmacists and a girl trying to serve 100, an average of 100 customers per hour. Whereas if you look during, in the morning, 27, and at night, when it's really quiet, we have just about the same amount of staff. So again, guys, we need to be very, very accurate in how we roster our customers. Okay, back to our slides. So that was Kepler Analytics. Our store renovation won't be looking as slick as that, but that's just to give you an idea of what we're looking to achieve and the effect that we're trying to cater for. So we're redoing the whole vitamins and gifts area. Other points of discussion really quickly. So we're going to have the new roster trial, which we're trialing for August. We're having someone that either starts at 3:30 or 4 and finishes at 7 rather than doing 5 to 8. Again, I've explained why this is. Store orders and lunches. We're looking at Kepler. Very, very important, guys, and I'm going to emphasize this to the pharmacists as well. We know 2 things. We know that Sigma always comes in before CHS. Sigma usually comes in before 11, CHS usually after 11. Okay, after 11 is when we start to see the peak amount of customers or peak number of customers coming into our store. Our priority is to serve the customer, not marking off the order, not putting stock out. You can still put stock out, but marking off the order does take you off the floor. Whether you like it or not, you can't be doing both very effectively. Okay, so new store policy. I'm going to working with Meg about this, but for pharmacists, ethicals, if they are urgent or special orders or low stock lines, they need to be ordered via Sigma, because this will come in early in the morning. It'll be easily marked off. It'll allow us to fill up our shelves, get the special orders in and out, and everything, and allow us to serve our customers better. Everything else that's not urgent comes to CHS. Same principle applies to over-the-counter orders, okay, front of shop orders. The CHS order is to always be marked off at the registers while someone is manning the registers, okay? The register job is something that can be done. It doesn't require a lot of customer service. It's basically helping the customers pay for their products, so they can be done at the front part. The person starting on a 3 or 4 is just to be on the store, helping customers or putting the rest of the stock out, okay? Again, this will evolve over time. I'm sure we'll get better and better at it, but this is just a trial to see if we are able to achieve better results. Very important, guys, when a customer comes into the store, drop everything, as Tom O'Toole said, and serve the customer. Look after them. When they come in, drop everything and go and see them. The number, if you don't treat, if you don't, or you fail to, what's the word, recognize as a customer, or you know, pay attention to a customer when they come in within 3 minutes, they're more likely to just walk straight outside the door. They haven't been served. Some customers, by all means, don't need any serving, but you need to make the question, can I help you with something today? Is there something that I can assist you with? That's how you do it. Do not say, are you right? Are you right is not the way to greet a customer, okay? Can I help you with anything today? Is there anything that I can assist you with, okay? Register cover, very important. We talked about this, and it's very, very important, especially at night on the weekends, okay? If you are rostered on the registers, you need to stay at the registers. And or if there's nothing to do with the registers, you can stay at the front of the store doing other things, but do not come into the dispensary and do not stay at the back, okay? Ensure the registers are covered at all times. You know, in the person that we have rostered the registers should not be doing half-ways except in absolute emergencies, okay? There is nothing worse, guys, than people waiting to pay for products and having to ring the bell to get someone to help them, okay? It's just not the way we want to do business. We need to have them ready to go, yep, can I help you with that? We should never have customers waiting at the serve-through register. I mentioned that already. If you need to move away from the registers, you have 2 options. If you think this will be for an extended period of time, make sure you call another staff member to cover. If you think it's just a quick and easy one, that's fine, but just keep an eye out, okay? So jobs that can be done on the registers, data-related jobs to be delegated by Meg, can be achieved whilst on the registers. You can do that from the front computers. So, for example, if someone comes in and says to you, can you please just point me in the right direction of Voltaren? Yeah, quick and easy. Walk with them, show them what Voltaren is, and say thank you very much. If someone comes in and says to you, you know, my son just fell over, he's got a big gash on his arm, that is not going to be a quick consultation. That is something that, yes, you still need to help the customer with them, so don't fob them off, but say to the customer, just in a nice way, can I please ask that you just give me a second? I'll just call someone to the registers and I'll come and help you, okay? Ring the bell if you can't see anyone. By ringing the bell, I will know, and whoever the pharmacist will know, to make sure they call another staff member to the front so that the front is manned. Script link. Make sure you are triple checking the items in the baskets are matching the screen, especially multiple patients, guys. Husband, wife, son and daughter, father and son, father and daughter, mother, son, mother, daughter. Make sure you're looking at each product and making sure that they come up on the screen. Webster and dosage charges. Pharmacists, do not put a label with how much to be charged. Chuck that out. Whatever's on the system is whatever goes on the is whatever that customer pays for it. If the customer wants to find out about why they're paying certain prices, send them to the back, and we as pharmacists can then go through one by line why they paid for that. Okay, but often we have the wrong price, the wrong information on that label, and then what happens when they go to the front? The question gets always asked, why am I paying this when the label says this? Do not put a label. End the story. Any discrepancies and queries with scripting need to be brought to the pharmacist's attention before leaving the store. Very important. We can't fix it once it's been left, and it needs to be dealt with on the day. We don't want a customer to come in them back and saying, why is this continuing to happen? I've brought this up to the attention of people before. Bad experience. The pharmacist will also be trained on this in a separate meeting. Okay. Free stock that we give needs to be price matched to 0, not deleted. If you delete an item, it just stays on the system. It'll come back the next time the patient comes in or the customer comes in. mHire is our hiring software. Everyone needs to be fluent in this. It is so easy, this software, and you'll be surprised at how easy it is. It allows us to hire out all our products in an electronic way to keep track of it, know who's got which products. We can easily call them up. It is easy. Too many staff still don't know how to do this, and if you haven't used this system today, do a test hire, unhire. Do not make your first attempt the one you actually need to do. Something is bound to happen. Make an initiative and take a time out and do a test run. If you don't know how to do it, there's a webinar. I will be putting that on the website. Again, guys, very, very simple thing. Allows the customer to have a good experience. There's been a few feedbacks about this. It's sometimes very difficult to do this while trying to serve at the registers. You know, having people lining up waiting to pay for their products, and there's a customer there wants to have the items hired out, and they've got a screaming baby, they can hardly walk, they've just broken their leg, etc., etc. So we're changing that system to the following. I would ask all staff to serve the customer, get the right product for them, show them how to use it. Once that's happened, get all the details, put it on a piece of paper along with their license number or some proof of identity and a phone number, and put that on a piece of paper in a basket along with the other scripts, and the pharmacist will enter the details. Okay? Like we do with NDSS, the pharmacist will enter the details, they'll print off the agreement, they'll give both agreements to the staff member, and the staff member takes it to the front, and it gets processed at the front. Any payments or refunds need to be completed via mHire. Do not charge a customer, do not return any funds to the customer without having entered that information in an mHire. Basically, what that means is, when a customer come back and we haven't entered that into mHire, maybe they've paid for the 4 weeks every week over the phone. Okay, if that hasn't been recorded, guess what? When they come into the store to return the product, we will be asking them for that 4 weeks. They'll say to us, "Hang on a second, I've paid for these 4 weeks. Where's the notes? How do we know?" Okay, needs to be recorded. Again, it might mean that they've overpaid, and then we're refunding more money than we should. Underpaid, and then refunding more money than we should. So again, guys, it's an easy system. It just needs to be done in the right way. And explain to the customer what you're doing. Just say to them, look, it takes us about 5 minutes to put the details in the system. You're more than welcome to have a seat. And you're more than welcome to have a seat, and we'll get this organized for you. Price changes. There will be you'll notice that there's been a lot of price changes lately. Again, just really quickly, the reason for this is we've just left prices where they are for a very long time, and we didn't have the right IT point of sale to allow us to change prices easily and effectively. So the prices are being changed. If I've changed a price on the system but hasn't been reflected in the label, please make sure that you do a new price label. If you don't know, please ask us and we will show you. But and always give the customer the price that was on the label. Okay. We no longer accept Amex. I think that's been the case now for 2 or 3 months. We'll have a sign at the front to say that. But again, just say to the customer, I'm sorry guys, we don't accept Amex. It's just unless we had to basically pass this fee onto you, we didn't want to do that. So we don't have the Amex facility anymore. Parcel Point, again, there's a webinar that will be moved to our website for training. If a fee comes up that they need to pay, this needs to be paid, okay? And there's a hotkey for it now. The fees aren't set by us and they've got nothing to do with us, okay? If there's any confusion, you either accept it. If they don't pay, you don't accept the parcel, okay? If they have any questions or queries, they need to call up. Do not call up on their behalf. We are just an agent. We're not doing anything besides basically keeping this product for them. Do not get involved. It's meant to be a 5-second job. Do not get involved beyond that, okay? Passport photos, we need all staff to be trained in this and to allow us to take passport photos at any time of the day. We will organize a morning, afternoon, or a night to practice these. Very, very easy again. I think there's a lot of stigma around it, making people think this is some rocket science that we're trying to do, or we're trying to launch a rocket to space. It's extremely easy, guys, okay? I've worked with a lot of staff in different backgrounds, different expertise that are able to do this successfully without any problem, okay? New stock and ranges, we've just brought on board 2 new ranges that I'd like you to have a look at via the web links there. So Eye Health and Protect Dry. Again, these slides will be on the web, so you don't have to take any notes down. Please familiarize yourself with these trainings at a convenient time so that you know the benefits, you know how to sell them. Thank you guys all for your time. I hope this worked, and I hope that you find this informative and easy to do. And thank you again for your time.